Now, as a player, what I see from this is really towing microtransactions in a way that is very, very borderline or on a tight rope, walking on one side pay to win and on one side not. And that scares me as a player of the game. As you guys know, since the beta of Black Ops 6, I have been really, really positive about the game. From what I have played, it looks pretty good. And on top of that, I have a pretty positive about the game coming out. And yes, we've been negative about certain things like skill-based matchmaking. But as a whole, even though a lot of the community is dumping all over the game, I have really enjoyed it, and I like to be honest with you guys. Some of you call me a shill for it, the ink shiller or shill slasher, or actually nobody's called me any of that, but we'll just invent that for today. But today is going to be an example of me not being positive about Call of Duty, because over the last couple of days, I have realized some things that were kind of surprising to me. A couple of things that Call of Duty, specifically Treyarch, is doing with Black Ops 6 that actually monetizes one of the greatest new or returning features to Black Ops 6, and that would be prestiging. As you guys know, prestiging is returning in Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and somehow Call of Duty, Activision, Treyarch, whoever the powers may be, have found a way to try to make money off of this one, which as a business I completely understand, but at the same time, gameplay-wise and player-wise, I don't think all of these decisions are a good thing. Let me explain what I'm talking about. So oddly, this is not the main part of the video, but I wanted to just point this out because it plays into what we're going to talk about next and what the bigger actual problem is. So a couple of days ago, Charlie Intel tweeted saying unused Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 XP tokens only transfer over to Call of Duty Warzone after the Black Ops 6 integration happens later this year. The XP tokens do not carry forward into Black Ops 6 MP or zombies per Activision. So have you saved up your double weapon XP and double XP getting ready for Black Ops 6 and getting ready for that master prestige grind? Well, fear no longer, because you can't use any of them. Alright, I just want to start out by saying this makes absolutely no sense. Not to say that this is a bad thing, just that it makes absolutely no sense. So let me explain. The real reason why they are doing this is because they want to put more emphasis on the actual double XP spending things that are going to come at launch, some of which have already happened already, which include the monster bonus. And if you don't know what that is, if you buy cans of monster, they will have codes on them which give you double XP in-game and the ability to unlock in-game items. We've seen this many times before with Doritos, with other things, and monster included. So in other words, the only way of getting double XP or double weapon XP at launch is promotions like this one. So yes, somewhat monetizing the weapon XP and double weapon XP via monster, things like this, but we've seen this before in Call of Duty, and really that's not the thing that doesn't make any sense. This actually makes plenty of sense. What doesn't make any sense is that they did say that when Black Ops 6 gets integrated into Warzone, in other words, in Warzone, you will still have your double XP and double weapon XP tokens, but your weapon levels from Black Ops 6 and your prestige level from Black Ops 6 are going to be continuous between Black Ops 6, between zombies, and between Warzone. So you can use your tokens to level up in Warzone, but you can't use them in Black Ops 6, which when they're trying to make the continuity between all of these modes the same, makes absolutely no sense. We've seen this in previous years. I believe it was Vanguard, where you could go into Warzone, pop your double XP, pop your double weapon XP, and then go back into Vanguard and then level up your weapons and character with double XP that way. And that very well may be possible upon the launch of Black Ops 6. I don't understand why they are doing this, other than the idea that they want to limit the amount of double XP a player can have to make it more continuous, whether you're a new player or whether you are a returning player. In other words, keeping the leveling relatively similar between player to player, and really the only way to boost it is by buying something like a Monster energy drink, something along those lines. At least that is what I am seeing at this point. So what are my thoughts on this? Well, it kind of sucks if you saved up your double weapon XP and double XP kind of waiting for Black Ops 6, but I also understand it. I understand that they want everyone to kind of be on the same footing moving forward, but it's also very annoying if these tokens do work in Warzone and you have to leave the game and then come back and do all of that kind of dancing around to actually make this work, which I'm sure some people will figure out. But honestly, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm not that angry at it, but it is frustrating. What I am more mad about is this. So on the Call of Duty blog, a lot of you may have missed this because essentially this came out during Call of Duty Next and there was so much information going on at that point. Again, you may have missed it. And in fact, where I saw this yesterday was on the exclusive Aces video, and I liked what he said about it, but I wanted to add some things, so hence this video. Now, if you don't know how prestiging works, this very easily breaks it down. As you can see, when we hit Prestige 1, so essentially, as this says earlier, you are going to level up from level 1 to 55. So if you played the beta, it was 1 to 30. But if you don't play the beta, if you play the full game, it's 1 to 55. When you hit 55, they are then going to prompt you to Prestige. When you do Prestige, you get a brand new fancy icon, and in Black Ops 6, each of the icons is somehow related to a Black Ops game prior. So this one, for example, is the zombies icon from Call of Duty World at War. So not particularly a Black Ops one, but I think you know what I'm saying. But also when you Prestige, you get your Prestige 1 icon, so that's what we just talked about, access to Prestige menus, which is a menu screen, and gaining quick access to easy descriptions of how the systems work with very valuable rewards. So we don't know what these rewards are yet. Prestige level climb, you are now able to climb through 10 levels of Prestige, each inspired by a title in Call of Duty Black Ops history, so that is neat. Rewards, concerned there may be a lack of rewards for prestiging? Fear not, Black Ops 6 has the most rewarding prestige system ever in Call of Duty Black Ops games. Also, prestige specific rewards. There are plenty to unlock, and this includes rewards per prestige, including operator skins, blueprints, and more, and then the prestige mastery, which we'll get to in a second. Now, the downsides of prestiging are, number one, your level reset. So instead of being level 55, you go back to level 1, but you are prestige 1, level 1. If you're wondering about your weapons, so for example, the AK-74 is unlocked at level 7, that is locked until you hit level 7 again, but whenever you do unlock that, however far you leveled that AK-47 previously, your weapon starts at that. So in other words, the prestige doesn't prestige your weapons as well. It is just a base weapon level and then your prestige level. Okay, I'm going to skip these 2 permanent unlocks and come back to them after I finish explaining to you prestiging, because that is the part that is monetized now. So prestige rewards, as previously noted, once you prestige, you gain and earn access to otherwise unattainable prestige rewards, prestige challenges, and increased XP reward for completing daily challenges. That one's interesting. So the further you prestige, the more you get for completing daily challenges. That's actually brand new to this game. Stat reset, your combat stats, such as your current elimination and death record, start fresh every time you prestige. However, you can always view your career stats across all your levels in the combat record. So in other words, you start from 0 every time you prestige, but you can go back and see like what prestige you had the best kill death ratio, for example. We will also come back to the seasonal content, and then the prestige hub, a prestige menu that rewards showcase is now accessible. So that is talking about like your stats and everything that you can view across all your prestiges and what you've unlocked, things like that. Now, permanent unlocks. There is 3 sections to this permanent unlock, and this is the part that's monetized now. So first of all, permanent unlocks. The way that this normally works is when you prestige, you get 1 permanent unlock. You can use that permanent unlock on any items, weapons, perks, anything along those lines. So when you prestige, you want to use those unlock tokens on the highest level item. So for example, if you unlock, let's say the AK-74, we'll just use that as an example again, at level 54, you probably want to use it on that so that you can use it throughout the rest of your prestiges, so on and so forth. However, they've added something here. Permanent unlocks additional. Note that blueprints and equipment skins that you may own also permanently unlock items, including the base versions of an item. So that is big. We will come back to that, but that's not the only thing. Seasonal content. Items acquired from a battle pass, store bundle, or in-game event are never locked. So if you don't know what that means, it is huge. So let me explain it to you. So normally when you prestige, everything that you have unlocked over those 55 levels is relocked. So in other words, your perks, your equipment, your weapons are all relocked until you hit a certain level. So say for example, the Tonto 22, the SMG that was unlocked at level 30. Say you hit level 30, the weapon is unlocked, you can use it again. However, if you bought a blueprint, in other words, if you bought a bundle that has a blueprint for a Tonto, or you bought the battle pass, which has a blueprint for a Tonto, that is then permanently unlocked forever. Even though you prestige, you can use it from level 1 onwards. So in other words, it is a huge incentive to buy bundles and to buy battle passes that have huge amounts of blueprints, because not just those blueprints are unlocked, but the base versions of those weapons are unlocked as well. This also includes equipment variants. So say, for example, they have some weird type of smoke that you unlock, and say your smoke is normally unlocked at level 40. If you have a blueprint for the smoke grenade, it is unlocked from level 1 as well. In other words, giving huge incentives to people who buy bundles and buy battle passes. Now again, from the standpoint of a business idea, this is brilliant. This is going to sell more bundles, and it is a very good thing. Now, as a player, what I see from this is really towing microtransactions in a way that is very, very borderline or on a tight rope, walking on one side pay to win and on one side not. And that scares me as a player of the game. And what I mean by that is, well, it's a lot easier to level up and do well in game when you have access to all of the weapons. And really, as a whole, one of the things that really makes prestiging fun and exciting is every time you prestige, you got to start all over again. But if you have all of your weapons unlocked through blueprints or through a battle pass, really that risk reward of prestiging is null and void. The only thing that'll actually be relocked if you have all of this equipment and all of these weapons is your perks. And yes, that is going to make a difference to how you play the game, but as a whole, it is absolutely not the same prestige system or traditional prestige system that we saw in previous games. This is a new prestige system that incentivizes buying bundles and buying season passes. Now, I also get the other side of it. Say, for example, you did buy the season pass and you are someone that can only play 1, 2, maybe 3 hours a week, and you bought the season pass and you've unlocked all of these cool blueprints, but you can't use any of them until level 40. Of course, that would be very frustrating for someone who doesn't play very much to never be able to use those things that they have purchased. So they almost had to do this system that they have created so that everyone was able to use the things that they purchased. And I understand that. But the way that it should actually work is exactly what the exclusive ace said in his video. When you unlock these blueprints, the only thing that you should be able to permanently use is those blueprints. You shouldn't be able to start with the base weapon unlocked at the level 1 and be able to put whatever attachments that you have on it just because you bought the blueprint. If you bought the blueprint, you should be able to use the blueprint, and that's it. I think that's the most balanced way of doing it and the best way of giving the people who can't play much and bought these things a chance to use them, as well as giving you the most traditional prestige system possible. I think that is the balance between the two. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Are you angered by this? Do you think it's a little ridiculous? Do you think it's too much incentivization of monetization? What are you thinking down in the comments? Let me know. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're